Huddle, the podcast that brings you the heart and soul of Rolla Bulldogs high school sports. All right, everyone, welcome to Inside the Huddle, brought to you by Romo Athletics and powered by our title sponsor, Phelps County Bank. Speaking of Phelps County Bank, we always like to give them a shout out right at the beginning. Appreciate everything they do. They're 100% employee owned. They're 100% community champions. They are bankers by day, but you know what they are by night? Bulldog fans, Drew.
Yeah,
They're Bulldog fans. Appreciate them. Go to mypcb.com to find out more about how Phelps County Bank can help you out. So here we are. We got the head football coach, Drew Bahr. The head football coach, Derick Heflin.
No, he's
and the football specialist, Drew Bahr. Hey, so here we are. This is season 3, episode 30, and we're excited about everything that's going on. But before we get going, hey, what happened here at Team Meal Night?
Colton sponsored dinner again, and the Magnolia House provided dessert. I think Drew's pounded down a couple cookies, and then Sonic has always provided the waters. But no, it was a great meal, and it's great to still be together. It's a big step getting to week 11, hopefully we're here eating dinner next week for getting ready for week 12.
I like to hear that. So, yeah, we'll recap a little bit about last week. Before we do, so last week, first round of district took on the Washington BlueJays. It was Halloween, so it was a great kind of a trick or treat night, man. A lot of fun. Some people, it was a little sparse just because of the Halloween going on. People, young kids, what they're doing. But I wanted to kind of give a shout out just because it was such a treat for that victory. Before we get on there, just kind of want to give a shout out there to a young Coach Heflin. I'm not quite sure what that was, but it's kind of cool. You have the towel underneath the hat.
That is from a Christmas program.
A Christmas program.
At the Methodist Church, yes.
Well, that looked pretty good in the costume.
Yeah, I'm a shepherd there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it might have been a Halloween costume. What do you think of that one, Drew? You like that one?
Down.
Little Derick Heflin, man. He want to be a shepherd. That's kind of what he's doing. He's shepherding his flock out there on the thing. But we can't just talk about Derick. What about we talked about Drew Bahr wanting to be that cowboy on Halloween, and here he is in his full cowboy regalia. You got the chaps on, then you got your vest. I don't know if you got those sheriff stars there too. You're looking good, man.
He's got a bolo tie on there too. You missed that underneath the.
I can see that.
Yes.
So I have a bolo tie too myself, man, from Alaska, little kind of gold nugget ivory thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a big B on it?
It big B for, for Brown.
Yeah.
For Brown.
Brown. No.
Yeah. Thanks,
my natural.
Okay. Well, I didn't know. So anyhow, Halloween, great victory. It was definitely the treat for the Bulldog and the Bulldog fans. So, man, Coach, talk to us a little bit about that big victory you guys had. 35-14, a dominant win.
No, our kids came out and they played a great game. The first drive, was a little shaky defensively, and I think it took us a second to figure out. Their offense is not what you would say a traditional offense by any means. And our guys settled in and stepped up after that first drive, and really, other than they hit a big pass on us there at the end of the first half because we had a blow in coverage that kind of seems to rear its head like once a game, and they caught it. But other than that, I thought defensively we won the line of scrimmage, which we talked about having to do, and offensively we did the same thing, and we won the turnover battle. And offensively we had some big nights. Blaine did a good job running the offense. CP had a huge night. Jack had a big night. And if you look at the stats, Emory's stats weren't that impressive, but he moved the chains and he established everything. And when we needed it, we knew we were getting 3 or 4 yards. And when you can come back and get 3 or 4 yards and be in 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5, it allows you to get the ball in the air and do what we need to do. And, I thought everybody did their role. The offensive line played well. And Cam Brown had a big touchdown there too. And then, you had the blocked field goal, Jack scoop and score thing that I've never seen before, that really, after we got home and watched it, we hadn't given up really a block since Hillcrest on a PAT, and we'd really worked it and protected and been good all year. And then you figure out real quick, the kid was 3 steps off sides. I don't know how
did they not call that?
How that wasn't called, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and we were lucky on that one. And no, but in defensively, they did a great job too. Jack had like 16, 17 tackles, and Cam Moore and Podrick were all over the place, and Easton and Cam Brown set the edges, and those guys inside did a great job. I think Jakari, Andrew Clardy and Charles Lawson played their best game. I mean, it was a full team effort. We did a really good job. The only thing I really complain about that first drive, and then we got to stop jumping off or being offsides on the kickoff. But other than that, it was a good win. It was a little there was a little extra for me, being that there were a lot of those guys I'd known. There's a big part of my life that was spent there. And it was special to go back, or not, guess go back. They had to come here, but to get to go play those guys and kids I'd known since they were little kids and get that W, it was big. And it's another big thing for our seniors because they get another 48 minutes, they get another week, and you build the relationships and you see those kids grow. And I wouldn't trade our seniors for anybody. They're great kids, they're great leaders, they're going to be great people in this community, and they're pretty good football players. And we've had an up and down season. Just we've played a tough schedule, and then you add on all the injuries and all the craziness that's happened. The homecoming, which we made the best of thing, but you never think of all that stuff to happen. These kids been through a lot this year, and they rose to the challenge and rebounded, especially after we didn't play our best against Parkview. The kids really stepped up. And got a win, and getting to play week 11 is a big deal. And hopefully it's something that we start becoming a tradition and getting used to rather than every couple years. And I think we have the kids in the program in the place where that happens. And this senior group has been great, and I'm glad that they got to play another week with them and do all those things.
Yeah, you definitely you talk about the big plays. So I could was big plays, big hits.
Yes.
That's really
Yeah.
kind of how you saw it. CP did his classic. Hey, I'm going to drop the ball, take off with it. This time it was on a reception, and
Yeah.
he was trying to make a move, and a kid kind of stripped it from him. He dropped it, picked it up. Up in the booth, my spotter goes, "Oh, he's taking it to the house." As soon as it dropped,
No,
he
yeah.
hadn't even recovered it yet.
Yes.
And Greg's like going, "Oh, he's taking this to the house."
No,
He reversed field, and that was an electric play.
No, and it really became a kick return at that point, and they did a good job of making sure he didn't get kick returns. And really, if we don't miss the block on the perimeter on the corner, which was really an outside linebacker they had put out there to help set the edge, which is I think why we missed the block. We had the edge on the left, and then when that happened, he's done that more than once. It's kind of like when we talked a couple weeks ago on kickoff. Once the ball hit the ground, everyone was like, "Oh." And when he doesn't lose his cool. When that happens, it's like, all right, time to it becomes CP time, and CP goes and does CP things. And
he backtracked probably about 10, 12 yards at one point.
Yeah,
he when he came back and reversed field.
No, and that was what I told him. I said, "Hey, you're gonna run by people this week. Just run by them." And he ran by them.
He did. And then Jack Mrazowicz with a big 80-yard sweep.
Yes.
Come around the side, got it on the pitch, and just took off with it. And man, one little in and out move, and he was just gone.
No, and that one CP set up for him, and Jay did a great job. He got a piece of the safety, and I tried to tell our kids all week. I go, this might, and I will stand by it. It was maybe one of the best offense and defensive lines we played all year. If not the best. But I told them also, guys, if we go line up and run sprints, I'm winning versus them. Like I've been there. I know what's going to happen. They're going to be big. They're going to be strong. They're going to be physical. But we're faster than they are. And Friday night, they proved that on both sides of the ball, and that's where those big hits come in too. There was some at the end of the game. They kind of just said we've had enough, and that was for us to go do that and establish. Like I said, I spent a large part of my life there, and we did a lot of. It was built on we were just going to work harder and be tougher than you, and came here and trying to establish that. And Friday night we worked harder and we were tougher.
Yeah, you look
as long as faster.
Yeah, heck yeah. And you look at that too, like you said, with that lead, the speed across the board, and Easton Smith getting the back and having the strip sack,
Yes.
fumble recovery, had the whole thing with it. Again, so our D line got the speed in there. If he's on that outside, we talked about the field goal getting blocked and returned. Jack put a hit on the backup quarterback, or they kind of had
they rotated. Yeah, they rotated. Yeah,
and then so both of them by the time were out, and then they had to go to a wildcat with the running back.
Yeah, and that's something they had done all year. But yeah, no, when Jack had hit the quarterback earlier on that the first quarterback, and there was I think an ankle injury, and then we part of the game plan was every couple plays, we just cut the offensive line and make piles. And their quarterback jumped over the pile, and number two was there. And I don't think that kid will ever jump over a pile again. He'll find a hole or something. And the thing about Jack is, he was really, it was two steps, and he was at full speed, and he lit it up. And that's Jack, and that's what Jack can do. And like I said, keep saying every week, I haven't coached one that can do the things he can do back there. And Friday night he had a game. And the other thing that kind of gets lost in all of that, at the end of the first half, that was the play that I think, in my mind, and I told him on the sideline, changed the game, was when we snapped the ball over Carter's head, and he had the awareness to not run out of bounds, get the ball, and get the punt off, and allow us to go into the half 21-14 and getting the ball back. That was huge. And you can go through all the recaps and all the stuff, and nobody will see it. It'll just be a normal punt.
Yeah.
But against Parkview, we had something similar had happened, and I said, Carter, you got enough time, and you can get the ball off quick enough. Just do it, man. And he did it. And I told him when it happened, I go, Carter, you don't realize it, but that completely changed the game. And it was 21-14 at that point. We go in 21-14, and then we came out and just rolled in the second half. But him keep not allowing them to get the momentum and flip the field or get 2 or 7 right there was gigantic.
Yeah, it was that was a great play, and plus, like you said, he got that nice punt with the roll and
Yes,
everything
yeah.
on it. Kind of got the crowd going again because you're like, oh no, here it comes, and he just took care of business. Yeah, you talked about kind of the balanced attack too. You had obviously CP with the big day with the 148 yards. Uh, Receiving and 47 yards rushing, but Jack had 96 yards rushing. Emery had 45. Spabo had 30. So again, good balanced rushing attack. You had I can't remember what it was on the passing side of
I
it.
think we
Blaine
had
was 7
two.
for
It's
14.
about 208 or two.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we were right at. I think when Dave got to me, it's 390. I mean, we're 400 yards of offense. We threw for 208, so that means we ran for 192. If my Raleigh education and math adds up right, that's 400. But like I said, we were balanced, and we did a good job. And we took turns making big plays, and those guys up front established it all. And it was a good night for the Bulldogs.
Well, and I know there was, like we talked before, about the line that they have, and there was some concern because
Yeah.
we that's hasn't always been, that's where we're giving up size on the
Yeah.
line. How are we going to handle it after, again, the disappointing loss at Parkview? What's the boys' mentality going to be? Right, you talked about they had a great week of practice, what they focused on, and we were able to see it execute. And I think as a fan, as parents and everything, that's what you want to see from the Bulldogs, is to see them kind of come out and do that. You talk about the defense. I mean, you had 6 guys over 6 tackles.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, that's a great, just a great variety in there. Even with Jack having his big game, and Cam Moore going with 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, I thought, again, just a testament to how people made. They came in, they made the tackles, everybody kind of stepped up and
No,
filled their.
and yeah, no, we did a good job. And like I said, this was maybe the first time we had got to practice healthy since North County. And North County, I thought, was was our best performance. And then we come back this week and get it. Because even the Parkview week, the bye week, we really practiced every day, but we had a lot of guys out, so it was getting young guys reps and really geared towards those guys. And even that week going into Parkview, we were still trying to get people healthy back, and not knowing exactly until Thursday who was going to be where and how it was going to fit. And that's kind of been the story of the year. I tell everybody we're held together with chicken wire and bubble gum, and we feel like we're keeping it together. And our kids are tough though, man, and they keep working. And it's a credit to them and a credit to the next man up mentality that they keep getting there and not letting get down, or it'd be easy to pack it in with all the stuff that's happened, and these kids haven't done that.
Yeah, Michael Hammer. I guess, was that his second game back? Or
Yeah, he
second-
played against Parkview.
Parkview,
Yeah.
And so he's back there, 9 tackles for him. He had some big plays, so come out making some big hits as well, some key stops, and so good all around thing. And hey, before let's jump about that. We talked about those people on the big dogs, so let's go to our Price Chopper Big Dog of the Week. Again, thanks to Brian Clark for sponsoring this. So the first one we have up is Jack Morozowitz.
Man, I can't say enough good things about him. He's the leader. He's the captain. He's the guy back there at safety, and he was all over the place. And he had a good night on the field on offense as well. And I don't know how many kids would have had the awareness to scoop up that block kick and take it to the house too. I mean,
Yeah, as the holder too, it came
yes.
by. He got up from the kneeling position, chased it down, and then took it to the
Yeah,
house.
and as soon as he picked it up, it was gone. I mean, he got the corner and was gone, and that's another thing that could have been a big momentum changer with that, And like I said, that was more on that should have been flagged, got us the first down. We could score another. I mean, we end up scoring, but that was a big play. It was in his awareness, and then like I said, defensively the hit sticks and the hammer, and he doesn't really miss tackles, and he just did a great job back there.
Yep. So he had 16 tackles, one pass breakup, 7 carries for 98 yards. Had so that's 14 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. So again, great overall night for him. You come back to that field goal block. Yeah, as soon as it happened, I'm up in there, and I got to make sure my button isn't on when I'm announcing to say, hey, he just jumped.
Yeah.
I go, he's 2 steps across the line. You said at 3, but I mean, there was no way, or that was the slowest snap in the history of football, all the way down to Pee Wee League. There was no way the snap could have been that low. I'm like, he just jumped.
No, and that's what I had turned and was talking, getting the kickoff and stuff ready, and I turn around and see it gets blocked, and I didn't see till later that night watching on film that had happened, and I just kept rewinding. It's like there's no way that this happened without a flag, but
Yeah.
it was what it was, and that crew did a good job. It's just it was one thing, and
I don't think you just kind of they do the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of take a breather when it's field
Yeah.
goal time.
Yeah.
You're not really looking for that.
No,
And
but it was like I said, it was a big play, and we're lucky that he had the awareness and the ball bounced where it bounced, and then it put him on the spot. And like I told him, I told CP, hey, they can't catch you. I told Jack they can't catch you either, man, and he proved me right twice.
well, there you go. We talked about Jack Mrazowitz, our first big dog, got our second big dog of the week, and it's Mr. Electric, man, Colton Petersmith, CPE.
No, man, he was all over the place, and we did a good job mixing him in the pass game, and he made some big plays, and they had, you could tell run game wise he was a focal point of what they were doing, and they made a few adjustments based so we couldn't get the ball there, and we quickly made some adjustments to get him involved different ways. But no, he had a good job running the ball, and then just get him the ball in space and go, and he made play after play after play like he has for the last really 4 years, 3 for me, and he's special. And Nebraska's going to get somebody that, if nothing else, when he's on the base pass, you got to know where he's at because he's probably the fastest kid I've ever coached, and it's special to watch.
He had 10 carries, 49 yards, touchdown, 7 catches for 175 yards. And a touchdown.
Yeah.
And like I said, you're able to get him kind of out in space. You're able to get him on the kind of the quick tosses out there. You're able to get him downfield.
Yeah.
And he went up and made some plays. I mean, just everything you expect from CP, he did. Except, they found a way not to kick to him. They were squibbing onside. They were doing everything to not get him the ball. So yeah, definitely understand that.
No, yeah, I knew those guys. I knew well. I was well aware that I had spent 7 years, and we had done everything possible to make sure that no kids like CP never touched the ball, and I fully expected him never to touch the ball, and they kept with the tradition and made sure he didn't touch the ball. But if he gets a chance, it's always electric, and there's always a chance it can go the house.
Yeah, great job. Thanks again, Brian Clark, for being our and Price Chopper for sponsoring the Big Dogs Week. Congratulations to Colton Petersmith and Jack Mrazowitz. So let's take a look at the upcoming game tomorrow night, Friday, 7 p.m., heading up to Kirkwood to take on the Kirkwood Pioneers. They are number 9 ranked in the state. They are number 1, or at least they were number 9. They might have moved up after last week.
Yeah, I see. There's a couple different polls, but yeah, they're a top 10 team no matter what poll you look at for sure.
And they're the number 1 seed in the district, so we'll be taking them on. And you go through and you look at their record, and again, we talked about this before. It's kind of hard to judge, right? Because everybody's pretty much airing it out in that area.
Yeah.
And Washington's kind of, there's only a few teams that are kind of grinding it out. So, they're scoring, I think they average like 38 points a game. So they definitely get some up there. And they've had some big defensive nights as well. But, they got a mix of tough teams they played. They're, the 9-0 Lafayette or Wildwood out of Lafayette. I mean, we know they're great every year.
Yeah.
They went to the Final Four last year. I think Kirkwood got to the Final Four last year.
In Class 6.
Class 6 and lost to Nixa, who ended up did they end up losing to Dismay?
Yeah, Nixa lost to Dismay in the state championship.
Yeah, so and Kirkwood's being coached by by Jeremy Macklin, man. big time Mizzou legend, played for the Jets and then the NFL, had a great career. And he came back to his alma mater there, so he's been there a few years. So the quarterback, he's a heck of a quarterback too.
Yeah.
2,000 yards, 19 touchdowns, only one interception.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and you turn on the film, and it's I keep telling our kids, and I'm not trying to blow smoke. I'm just being honest. Like, guys, you've played these teams. Like, you can go through it. Festus is in the top 5 in Class 4.
Yep.
Mountain Home's in the top whatever in Class 6 in Arkansas. St. Dominic's in the top 10 in Class 6. And I wouldn't. I don't know. I could never figure out why St. Mary's wasn't getting in the
Yeah,
top 10.
yeah.
But I wouldn't be shocked if St. Mary's not playing in St. Joe in the state championship game this year. I mean, we've played a tough schedule. Our guys are ready, and you look at him and you watch the quarterback on film. The quarterback is really good, but he might be the 4th best quarterback we've played this year. And that's not taking anything away from that kid. I'm just that, and when I go over the scouting report and we go watch film with our kids, it is what it is. They've got some good receivers, but so did Mountain Home, so
Yep.
did Festus, so did St. Dominic's. I mean, there's not, it's not like we're not battle tested. The thing with the independent schedule, it's made it interesting and crazy, and the way it planned out this year, I think it's a lot tougher. Or there was a lot top heavy, tougher teams than the old Ozark Conference. The Ozark Conference, we were all kind of in there about the same. Oh, excuse me. And it just depended on how the ball bounced each week, who was going to win, who was going to lose. But now with this schedule, man, we've kind of got some easier wins, but we've also played some really tough games, and that's our kids are prepared and they're ready. And it comes down to we've got to play fast and we've got to put a full 48 minutes together, and win turnovers and do the things that we've preached all year, preached all offseason, preached for 3 years. And our guys, our seniors have heard those things, and I think they know. And if hopefully that chicken wire and bubble gum holds together for 48 more minutes, and we can just keep going, and then we'll spend the next 7 days getting guys prepared and getting things together. I mean, that's kind of been the challenge too, is, hey, who can actually practice at this time, and what can we do, what can't we do? I've always been a big component of we got to hit, you got to do things, and we've kind of had to stop hitting. Everything's tag off and play modern football, which has always kind of made me mad. We grew up over there at the junior high hill where every day was full pads and you hit, and that's how you played football. And we've kind of had to change some of that stuff and do those things to fit kind of our needs. And we really hadn't been as full contact even before all the injuries, and then after them, it's been a lot of, hey, let's get to where we get our fits, and we're not tackling, we're not live up front, we're live, but everybody else get the ball. And those are the things we have to do. But they're going to explosive. The quarterback does a good job of distributing the ball. I think they've got 3 really good receivers, and they run a slew of running backs through there. And we were trying to figure, as we were doing the offensive scouting report, they play like 12 kids on the defensive line. I mean, it's unreal, the depth and the amount of kids that they have, and that's when you're coming down from Class 6 and, you're in the city, you have a lot more opportunities and kids that can do things. And it all is just facts of life, and we got to understand those things and go play the way we play and be who we are, and go represent Raleigh and Phelps County.
Yeah, so you look at those. You talk about those receivers. So they got the 6'4", I get tight end wide receiver. I don't know what they call him, but he's like a 220, isn't he?
Yeah, number 4, yeah.
Number 4, and he's Jacob Eberhardt, I think is his
Yeah.
name. And so I think his dad, did his dad play at Mizzou or play at
Maybe.
Illinois? Dad played at
As I say,
Illinois.
he's got a couple offers.
So he gave a verbal commitment to Illinois.
Yeah.
And then I know there was a little bit of question about whether or not he was still going there, but everything I looked at, it looks like he's still there.
Yeah.
But he's only second on the team. So he has like 27 receptions for like 534 yards.
Yeah.
You got a junior that's got 41 receptions for 614 yards.
Yeah, no.
And then you got a third one that's right up there.
I thought 10 and 1,
Yeah.
and then him. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you turn the film on, they're good, and but it's this thing comes down to we have to do our job, and we need to be in the spots we need to be on, and we can't have, like I said before, we were talking about the Washington game. It seems like once a game we kind of go brain dead and lose something, and we can't do that this week. That the game plan has been keep the ball in front of you and let's tackle it and go make them play another play and not give up the big play.
Yeah, that's I think it is. And like I said, we know that they're explosive, that they can score at a fast pace. they're going to air it out. That's more common what they are. But again, they haven't probably seen a lot of teams that do some of the change up that we do,
No.
kind of grind it out, and then also have the explosiveness that we do to set up when you're worried about Emery coming up and pounding the
Yeah.
middle. Then all of a sudden you got the CP or you got the Jack or
No, yeah, you turn on the film and it was tough because I think we somehow acquired or saw, you can get on Mission TV and watch pretty much every game anybody plays, but just finding teams that use tight ends, or I don't think they've taken a snap with the quarterback under center all year or versus a team under center all year. So those are things that we do that are going to give them some new wrinkles, new things that they've got to go game plan for, and that's kind of the thing with what we do. We've definitely expanded the flex bone when we're not just a true, you turn us on, and the guys that are true flex bone teams probably are cussing at us because it's not a true 100% flex bone, but we have to make it fit who we are and what we do. And, we get in lots of formations and do some things and use our athletes to the best of their ability. But, it's still at the core of this whole thing is run the option. And, I think being able to be sound and run triple after stuff is it's tough for anybody to do in 3 days, and let alone when it's not something you see a lot, or you really even simulating in practice can be tough. They've got great athletes, but fitting it all and doing it and teaching those kids in 3 days, your scout team, how to run, inside and outside veer and midline has got to be tough. So, that's something that can be at our advantage. And, we got to use, being a huddle team and some of the other things to kind of shorten the game and do some things to put us in a position to be successful.
Yeah, I like that game plan. And then again, I think the boys are ready. I think they had a lot of excitement. They have been looking for this. I talked about this on the season ticket with JP Maxwell on Tuesday. You never want to talk. So I have the feeling that, in my opinion, I could easily see Kirkwood looking past us. Here they are. They look at a record. They look at these
Yeah.
things. We're coming from Rolla. We're not at their level. They've been there. I could see them already thinking about the district championship game, and easily just kind of look back. And the bottom line is, you got 16, 17, 18-year-old kids.
Yeah.
That can happen. The coaches aren't going to let it happen.
Yeah.
But the kids can. And almost in hate to mention this, but the boys have been talking about playing Kirkwood ever since the district bracket came out.
Yeah. No.
I mean, it's been something that they've talked about. And so I don't want to say the boys look past Washington, because obviously they did. They took care of
No, yeah.
business, but they were looking at it in anticipation, knowing they were going to take care of Washington on looking at Kirkwood. So that's kind of anything. I know on that schedule, several of the boys have been talking about this game as an opportunity to showcase and see what we got.
No, and like I said, we are tested and we are ready. It's not something where all of a sudden we're going to get there and it's going to have to be like, oh wow, look at this. I mean,
Seen it.
oh, we've seen it. Like, we've seen it all, man, and we're battle tested and we're ready, and we've also got 6 or 7 seniors that have played.
Mhm.
We played, that shoot fire. This is their 30-something game,
Yeah.
and to have that level of experience is good. And those sophomores now they're on their 11th game, and those
Yeah.
they're not really sophomores anymore. So all of those 5 or 6 guys we've had out there all year, it's gonna be our guys are tested and ready. It's just gonna come down to, can we focus? And today I told them we gotta be focused and fast. If we're focused and fast, I got your back and let's go. And I think that's kind of our mindset of where we're at is, hey, we've seen it, we've been tested, we felt the fire. Now let's go do it one more time and let's put a full 48 minutes together. Because those other games, that's kind of the thing we've talked about with those teams we played, is we played 25 to 36 good minutes, but we can't seem to put that whole 48 together. Let's go put that whole 48 together and see what happens.
I like it. I like it a lot. Hey, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors. Phelps County Bank, our title sponsor, 100% employee owned. Go to mypcb.com to find out more about them. Ken Richardson's knives, again, handcrafted knives, using the antlers and things like that. They got the pins in there, just incredible works of art. Got to take a look at them. Kobe Wands Skills Academy, 2-time All-State Bulldog, out there doing big things, getting ready to put his facility in place here in Raleigh. Excited for that. Jackie Mrazowitz in full bloom. Going to be using her in the next couple of weeks with some of the senior sightings. We come up with signing days beginning on November 12th. Brian Clark at Price Chopper, again, sponsor the Big Dog of the Week. Appreciate Price Chopper. Make sure you get there. Get your little breakfast burrito in the morning. Right, Drew? Sounds good. And again, JP Maxwell over there at the season ticket. Appreciate everything they do. Been involved with us. I sit on there Tuesday, talk about the Bulldogs, have a lot of fun with them. Coach, we already talked a little bit about the keys to victory. What you got? Is it 48 minutes? Is it fast? Is it focused? What we got?
like we said, the biggest thing this week is no home runs, control the clock, and win the turnover battle. Those are the three things that we've really got to do to win the game. If we can do those things, we win the turnovers. We make them drive the ball, not give up big plays. Good things will happen, and then we control the tempo of the game and control the clock. I think those are all three things that we can do. That put us in a position to be really successful. And, at the end of those 48 minutes in a situation to win the football game.
So it's fall. Weather's, it's nice right now, but it's supposed to get a little chilly, I think, this weekend, next, week and everything. What's your favorite fall/winter comfort food when it gets a little dreary outside? What's your go-to meal that you want to have made for you?
Drew, you can go first.
Yeah, Bobby Flynn, the meal is my favorite is chili. I cook outside, and hey, when we get there, Bobby hot chocolate, stand. Hi, everybody, hot chocolate. Everybody else,
Chili and hot
Chili
chocolate.
hot chocolate. Do you do it at the same time, or are those different? Does it wash down that chili? Oh, buddy.
I've seen him put a hurting on some chili.
Oh, I can too.
Mini pizzas.
So wait, you've seen him put a hurting on a chili, but then you've also felt him putting a hurting on a chili or hurting on other people.
No, that office gets rough sometimes. But he no. And he stole my answer. When it gets cold like this, it's his chili weather. I told Coach Hugh, I said Saturday I might not leave. I might have to leave my house and go to the grocery store and get stuff to make chili and sitting at the computer and break down film all day. That's the game plan. But I think I looked at that temperature and it's not this weekend. It's not going to be pleasant.
Yeah, baby, weekend before.
Oh, weekend before.
Yeah.
It was nice Saturday.
Yeah, I know.
This Saturday, it's not going to be nice.
It's going to turn chilly this weekend.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to get mine too. So I got I do a chorizo chili. So I do a beef, pork, and chorizo in my chili. 3 types of beans. I get it done, man. You want to talk about some chili? I got some stuff for you. It'll hit you. It'll hit you hard.
Yeah.
My mom fixed me a ground beef.
Yeah.
Just ground beef?
Yeah, ground beef, beans in, dollars in.
All that meat and all those beans, we share an office. We're not doing that one.
I'll have to bring you guys in some then. All right. So hey, let's wrap up on that note and that sour note that Drew will leave sometimes when he eats chili. All right. So for head coach Derick Heflin, for head coach Drew Bahr, I'm Tom Brown, and from inside the huddle to the heart of the game, we'll see you next time.